Morning, Frank.
Morning.
Just reflect quickly, if we could, on the other night against Sheffield United. The whole occasion really was fantastic, really, wasn't it? Just your reflections on it, a couple of days on.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great evening. The enemy playing before went down spectacularly, I think. Fortunately, I didn't get to see it, but I've seen the videos, and I thought it was great. Connection of club, of fans. It's a big song for us, we know that, and it was great. But then you've got to try and go and win a football match, and I thought we dealt with the game really well. I thought the first half we were pretty good without being our absolute best, but I think you have to give credit to Sheffield United for that as well. They're a dangerous team. Even with their lead position, they still got good players. We know that, and set pieces were probably the main problem for us. But then the second half reaction was great, and I thought the energy in the team, the way we changed slightly, but the players took it all on board. The way the fans reacted to that was a sign of how we can be when at our best.
Yeah, and Ephraim Mason-Clarkley brought him on at half time, and he clearly made a big difference to what went on in that second 45, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and that's great, and that's what he has to do to impact. I'm not calling him an impact player, but we have to sometimes manage probably Ephraim's minutes a bit in busy periods because of the explosive sort of player that he is. And also I have decisions to make like that, but I think when he comes on and plays like that, we see the real threat that Ephraim can be. So delighted for him that he can feel that. He can feel the difference that he made coming on there, and he has to consistently do that for us.
And the character and resilience of the players, that's been kind of brought into play a few times. Not many this season, but a few times, and it was there to the fore again on Tuesday, wasn't it?
And we have to keep a level, I think, as a club here, because we've had a good start to the season, and a lot of games we've made them go our way, in different ways. But it's not realistic to say that everything will go your way all the time. You cannot get to where we want to get to without having games that you're going to get tested, you're going to go down, you're going to find it hard to break a team down, all these different things. So we can't go into going, it'll be another QPR, it'll be another this or another that. It won't be. And those challenges are there for a reason. And I think the players can take a good feeling out of turning the game around the way they did, because there'll be other times when we need to do that. And they showed a lot of strength of character and their qualities to do it.
So it's Stoke in their backyard. Your predecessor, obviously, will be in the opposition's dugout as well. So there's a lot going on around the game, but we've talked about this several times as well. You and the players having to have a laser focus on what you need to do.
Sure. I mean, every game, but obviously when you're playing first against second, it gets built up a lot. That's fine. You have to take that on. The extra focus that's maybe needed, or we always focus, but just to understand the level of the game, a team that are playing very well. They're a strong team. Had a great week. They're playing well and scoring goals, positions that we've been in before, but that's something for them to look at. We can control ourselves and how we approach the game, and we'll do that in the next 24 hours.
Football's about looking forward and not looking back. I appreciate that, but it's exactly a year ago today since the decision was made at this club for Mark to terminate his contract, as the wording of the statement said, 3 weeks before you came in. But you'll appreciate, of course you do, the achievements that he had here over 7.5 years. I mean, that length of time at one football club in itself is very, very unusual, Frank, isn't it?
Yeah, it is unusual, and getting more unusual by the day when you watch breaking news. So I think there's absolute credit. I've said it a lot of times. His legacy and status at the club remains no matter what, because of the context and the difficulties that the club were in at the time. And I'm very aware of that, and just full credit to Mark for that. And as you say, time moves on now, that never gets lost. And then now he's doing his new thing, and I'm doing my thing here for nearly a year. So I think it's just full respect between myself and Mark, and between both clubs in that sense. So fine, we just have a game to play.
Yeah, you do have a game to play, and it is first against second. Another international break just round the corner. So at least a positive result you want, clearly, to take into the next couple of weeks before we resume against West Brom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what it is. So nothing's given. We have to go and fight for that. It'll be tough. What we've done to this point is great, because we've got ourselves in a really good position to this point, and we'd love to get a positive result. But it's going to be very tough, because they're, as I say, a good team, and I'm sure their fans and the club are feeling good about themselves, as ours are. Again, it's kind of put that to the side for us, deal with the game that's in front of us.
Let's talk a little bit about Haji Wright, because his unselfishness the other night when he was clean through. He got Brandon with him, but he could have gone on and scored himself the third goal to clinch all 3 points for you. But he chose to pass it and give Brandon a tapping, even though he's now gone 4 games without a goal. So what does that say about him to you, Frank? What do you think?
Well, no, it says something probably about the team. It probably says about the connection of the players. It was the right thing to do. I don't think we should get that excited about it because it was the right thing to do. You know, I don't know if you're running in on the angle and your mate's there to throw a tap in, it is the right thing. I'm not trying to take credit away from Hadji, but it's what's sort of expected. But we've seen elsewhere that not happen. I think so. It really lays well on Hadji in terms of his selflessness to find his teammate to finish the game out, even though we were at a dead end. But who knows that they can go back up the other end. But yeah, there's a good connection with the players, and you know that little connection of Hadji and Brandon and Ellis when they're at the top. It's important that they do that, and that it doesn't matter who scores on the day to finish a game. Absolutely. And then the point of Hadji going 4 games without a goal. I mean, when Hadji contributes as he did the other night for me in terms of his presence and his abilities and the way he can run through lines and hold the ball up, which I think he did. I don't think we should just measure strikers on their scoring, especially when they score quite a lot and then you go, oh, well, they haven't scored for 4 games. I've played with some of the best. You know, I played with Didier Drogba. I think he scored every game and kept going runs. No. But when they can affect games like Hadji did the other night, then that's important. And then the goals will come back clearly. So I'm very happy with all the players at the moment in that sense. And they need to keep going because it's fine to have good form for a certain period. The best individuals and the best teams do it consistently over a long period. That's not every game Hadji's going to score 1, 2, 3 goals. But if he plays with the focus that he did the other day, and the rest of the team, then that's a good start.
And the same goes for Brandon, really. I mean, he's now in double figures, you know, but we're only just into November and he's got 10 goals in this division already this season. We've talked a lot about how he's kind of come back and kind of not reinvented himself, but you noticed a big difference in him, haven't you, since the beginning of the season? Is that fair?
Yeah, he came back very driven, and you know, outstandingly so. He stood out in pre-season. He was our best trainer, I would say, and I think to be clear, it's a great example for everybody else at the club because it just shows you that hard work of the individual, hard work of us as coaching staff to work with a player. Because when I came in, you're trying to assess the squad and the players, and you hear and you understand what people think. And some people go, "Oh, what's Thomas-Asante for us? What is he going to do for us?" And you can have some negative opinions or what. And our job is just to work with a player. And then when they want to work with you, as Brandon has, I think he's a great example of what you can do to maximise talent, to improve pretty quickly, to get output that is, wow, that's amazing output. So he deserves a lot of credit for it, Brandon, in the way as well. He's showing his qualities, and long may that continue.
We talk about Jack Rudoni. Where is he with his recovery?
We're hoping he's fit the other side of the international break.
Okay. So you were thinking, I think a couple of weeks ago, he might squeeze into the...
It was a possibility, but it was never clear.
So just give us a flavour of what he's been building up to then the last few weeks.
Getting fit.
Right, yeah, I know that.
Do you want me to give you these for the last 2 weeks?
No, but I'm just, so clearly he's been managing the injury.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't mean to be loose with you, but it's just like he's working with the physios, you know, he's doing a lot of strength training, specifically calf, but obviously his whole body, so it does give him a chance to work on that. And then he's on the pitch with us today. Not with us. He's actually on the pitch individually today, which is his first session on the grass. That's the answer you wanted.
Okay, thank you. And those shoes are helping him, are they, that he was wearing the other?
No, not so much. I'm all for, you know what, when you have a squad of 25 players, say, they can't all be the same. The way they dress, it sometimes shows their personality, character, and maybe reflects a little bit of the type of player Rudy is. I like that. He's an absolutely great lad, and he's got a lot of confidence to wear what he wore. So, and
I'm not being facetious, but I generally thought that they were like not orthopedic shoes because that's for lunch. You know what I mean?
No, they're fashion.
Everything is recovery.
They're fashion. They're definitely fashion.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sunglasses and everything. I've got this. I've worked long enough and played with enough players to know that when that kind of outfit is worn, there's players that do that in a personality and just deliver, which Rudy's delivered for me since I've been here, and he's desperate to get fit and deliver again. It's not a problem. It's the ones that wear that stuff and don't deliver. Then it's a problem.
Absolutely. Great, Frank. All the best.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Matt, how resilient did you think the players were the other night against Sheffield United? Bearing in mind the circumstances of the night with the gig before the game and then going in at half time, obviously behind. What does it say about the character and resilience of the group, the way you came back in the second half?
Well, I think obviously after our first loss of the season, everyone's then looking at the next game or how are they going to react? How is it gonna go? Obviously, not used to losing. So yeah, so to go half time 1-0 down, I didn't feel like there was anything in the first half really, to be honest with you. It was a bit of a stop start, nothing really too much going on, and we just found ourselves 1-0 down. And then yeah, like you say, to respond how we did, just shows the character and the togetherness of the lads. To then score 3 goals in the second half and win the game. So yeah, really good response, I think. Especially again, like you say, going 1-0 down. So yeah.
Looking back over your career, is there a similar period you can remember off the top of your head where you're going on such a long unbeaten run or such a strong start to a season? Is there a period that springs to mind immediately?
Well, when I was at Swansea, we had our first season under Steve Cooper. We won 5 of the first 6, which is obviously a really good start, but not for the length and the dominance that we've had here. I think you could argue a lot of the games, if not most of the games, we could have won, barring the Wrexham game. I thought that was the only game where for 90 minutes we weren't at our level at all. So yeah, it's been a really good start and we'll continue it.
And you mentioned Wrexham there. I just wondered, without giving away any confidences, but behind closed doors were certain words said, and that's why you got the response ultimately against Sheffield United, do you think?
Not really, no, to be honest. We've obviously 12 games is enough to judge a team in a season. Obviously, the 13th game being the Wrexham one, so it was just kind of just getting back to our standards. Everyone knew that we fell short that night, and we just picked ourselves up and got on with it. And you saw the other night we responded well.
The 15th game is against Stoke City, managed by this club's former manager in Mark Robbins, who I know you didn't play for when you were here because you joined after he left. But you'll know about what he achieved at this club in his 7.5 years from talking to people and now being the captain of the club yourself, Matt, won't you?
Yeah, of course. And it obviously is not unnoticed and how influential he was for that period of time. He's obviously taken this club from League Two all the way up to where it is now, put it in a brilliant position to be competing at the top of the end of the championship. So yeah, it can't be understated how well he did here, and obviously now he's gone to Stoke and he's doing well there as well. So yeah, although I didn't work for him, it's you do hear about how well he's done.
And I know you probably say the game is just another 90 minutes, which of course it is, but the context of it is that obviously you're top, Stoke are second, there's a 4-point gap between the two of you at the third distance of the season as well. So you put all those things into the mix and it's quite a mouth-watering prospect, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, first v second is obviously always one that catches the eye. I'd say it would be a much bigger game if we were 40 games into the season, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a decent game against a decent opposition. I'd imagine that they'll have nearly a sold out crowd, if not sold out. So yeah, an away day like that against a team very close to us in the table, I think is definitely mouth-watering prospect.
And bar the Wrexham game, of course, your away form has been pretty outstanding, hasn't it, this season?
Yeah, been very good. And yeah, like I say, we'll just be looking to perform how we have been. I don't know, see what happens.
Yeah. And you called, this is respectful, trust me, this is respectful, but you called the metronome of the team because you keep things ticking, you keep the ball moving, you always take the ball under pressure, or a lot of the times you take the ball under pressure, and that's a very difficult skill to have. But I think your connection with the fans now, particularly, is very, very strong. Do you feel that?
I feel like everyone. I feel like since I've been here, I've said before in previous interviews, I've been a little bit fortunate in a way because I've obviously only seeing it on the rise, and the connection that we have with the fans and the players to them, obviously conducted well by the media team as well, and everything we put out there, I think is yeah, it's brilliant. The gaffer's got a strong connection with fans, and I just feel like the club's in a very good place. Go back to the QPR game as well with the news of buying the stadium, so it's like it's ours, it's our home, and just everything's pulling in the right direction. So yeah, I do. We all certainly feel the love.
And in any walk of life, you achieve more with unity, clearly, don't you?
Yeah, of course, of course. I think that's a given. So the more we can be all on the same page, the better.